Honestly, does no one in this area ever thank you for letting them cross the road? I know it's a zebra crossing, but it doesn't take much to even smile, does it? Let's head into the shop now, as soon as they've slowed us down at that zebra crossing anyway. We need to ask about a generator, then probably some sort of jerry can and fuel, and a strimmer. And also I notice there's a nice looking pressure washer. So let's see if they'll also let us use that. Head on into that shop there. Spa shop. Rumour has it these spa shops have this new energy drink, Prime or something like that. I might try it. So they did have a strimmer, so that's brilliant. We're not doing particularly amazing at saving much money up today, but at least they had one. We did need one either way. So let's just drop that into the trailer there. I had to carry it on my shoulder, it's quite heavy. Brilliant. And they did also have a generator. £200 though this was. £200. But again, we needed it. So we've just spent 150 quid on a strimmer, £200 on a generator, and we got the jerry can for 20 quid, and we stuck a £5's worth of petrol in it, so we'll grab that as well. The trailer's already worth its money. Brilliant. Right, we'll head on back. I have to drive carefully though, because I keep meaning to buy like bungee straps or ratchet straps, but I keep forgetting, so I have to make sure we don't lose our strimmer on the way. Fortunately, traffic's quite quiet this morning. So much for the traffic being quiet. Bloody tractors always on the road. At least we're nearly home now though. So next job, we'll empty out the bits we just bought into the shed with the wheelbarrow in. We'll fill up as much timber as we can possibly take, and try and get some nice piles of that at the sawmill at the timber yard. And then yeah, make a couple more trips to the dump, to the recycling centre, try and clear out the rubbish, and then I think before it gets too dark today, I would quite like to get on with a little bit of strimming, just a little bit, nothing too major, but just start it, test the strimmer. It's cost us 150 quid, it'd be interesting to see if it's any good. I got so excited about the money that we spent and getting on with the strimming, completely forgot to ask them whether I could use that pressure washer. So we're going to have to do it though, because this is really unbearable now. This is quite challenging, especially coming down through those woods. Right, let's get this unloaded from the trailer. I'll just chuck it there on the floor a minute. We're going to be using it anyway. We'll leave those in actually. I don't know why I didn't drop them off as we were passing the caravan. Okay, not the best job in the world. But there is some wood in the trailer. I was going to leave them in and drop them back on the way, but I don't think that's a sensible idea. So let's just chuck these down here a minute. Where's that fuel can? There we go. A couple more pieces of wood in. So I've put loads of big ones in there. So, I mean, I don't know what they think is a 50 quid, what a big bit is, but I'm pretty sure these. So, there's a decent amount of money in there, you know. 300 quid's worth maybe, a little bit more. But, just like a moment ago, I still didn't buy those ratchet straps, so we are going to have to go real slow and hope that none of this timber actually rolls out. I reckon I can get one more piece in there. Let's do that little piece. Great, that'll do. That will do. Let's head on down. Okay, that's the last piece. What would we call this? Medium, I suppose. I'll try. I'll put it in the medium pile. I'll see if I can flag this one as a large. But anyway, that's all of the wood. I've also cleared the last few bits of the fly tipping as well. So we do now actually have a gate at the bottom, which is amazing. So I'm just going to go knock on the door there, find out how much we're going to get. I think this is going to be a good amount, you know. I think this is going to be decent, nice little boost. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be getting too dark. It does stay quite bright until quite late at the minute, but we want to do a little bit of strimming really before it starts getting too dark. So we can't hang around and chat. Let's jump in and find out exactly what we're going to get for this. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Thank you very much. Cheers. Okay, so leave it there. 630 quid. They weren't too happy with these ones. They'll take them, but they'll probably chip them. So this tree here wasn't the one that fetches the money. So although I put them in the medium pile, they only gave us £10 each for these bits. But that's fine. 630 quid. I mean, that's amazing. It certainly covered the cost of the generator and the strimmer. Didn't really go too far towards our deposit we paid to have the house knocked down. But yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Now, let's jump back in the car. It's very noisy, so I'll be glad to get away from this area. Couldn't hear a thing. Let's head on back. So, you'll be able to see the bottom entrance to the yard now. I've just used it actually to get this last load out, but it's quite nice to have a second entrance, which is actually good timing because I believe when they start doing this demolition work on the house, we are probably not going to be able to use the other entrance anyway, so I'm kind of glad. Now, cannot see anything again. Let's pop into that shop a minute and use their pressure washer. At least then we'll be able to see what we're doing. Straight back and then get on with some strimming. It looks like one of those pay-as-you-go type machines, so we'll just stick some loose change into there. And give the Range Rover a little wash. That will do. Wow, look at that. God, this windscreen is scratched. All of this mud was hiding the fact that this windscreen is really bad. Well, that's another cost that's probably coming. Right, let's go for it. Let's head on back, drop off the trailer, pack up the Range Rover and do some strimming. I imagine it's going to be getting quite dark. We are just coming back up to the farm and you will notice I left the gate open anyway, but we now have our second entrance. Great. I really feel like we've made some achievements today. It's nice to be able to come in from this entrance. Definitely. Although it's not a very smooth track down this end, that's for sure. Now, we'll just leave the Range Rover and the trailer here. We'll just start up this strimmer. just maybe trim around this area here. It is a little bit overgrown. We'll just do a little bit around here, just to test it. I'm just going to have to stick some fuel in this strimmer. Okay, fueled up. Let's just give it a start. Sounds pretty good. Right, so... oh, it's just stalled. Try again. Ooh. It's amazing, the weather looks really nice, but did you hear that thunder? Wow. Okay, let's go. Morning. I got a little bit carried away last night, so I just had to get to bed. It got pretty dark, so I don't know how much of a job I've done down here. I don't know what it looks like, but we shall just have a wander, and there's still a few bits I need to do, but it's nice and bright today, so we will carry on with that straight away. Well, not too bad. I got some of it. But yeah, it did get pretty dark by the time I finished doing it. I only wanted to do a little bit just around the goat barn, but I kind of got carried away. So still a little bit to do, to be fair. I didn't even move the Range Rover in the end. It's in the exact same place I left it. How does this area look? Okay, wow. Not too bad. I've got a little bit more to carry on with, but not too bad at all. I'll tell you what though, it was nice to sleep in the caravan with a generator. I've actually charged my phone up. I wasn't cold. I even managed to have a cup of tea. So that was pretty good. It's certainly better going back to the old tent days. Much better. Now, let's just grab that strimmer and get straight on with this. I was also thinking, probably need to head to the shop at some point and get some weed killer or something, because I put all of this effort into clearing this area, making it look a little bit better. It's only going to grow back again anyway. So we will definitely pop to the shop, see if we can get some form of weed killer or something, just to stunt the growth. Okay, so let's get back on with this again. So we can clear a few areas up here. That is much better. So just get these last few bits here in the middle, I think. I do have to move that Range Rover actually, because there is quite a bit of grass underneath it, so we'll have to head down there and just move that. And then we'll head back up and we'll close the gate, and then we'll get in behind the gate as well, but just feels so much better. Definitely. Gonna have to do something though, maybe get some gravel down here or something just to make it, well, I guess more level would be a good start. But yeah, certainly looks a lot better. That combined with a windscreen we can actually see out of now, it feels pretty good. Feel pretty good today. We'll just head down here. Okay, just going to pop this down there and get that Range Rover moved. Certainly feels so much better to drive through here now. Definitely much clearer, far more open. Now let's just pop this here, I'm sure that will be fine. Very good. Let's just get rid of this gate. Just close that a moment. Then we'll come back and just get in behind there. Just take out these last few bits there. And then whatever's left from underneath the Range Rover I've just moved, and then we're pretty good. So the next thing after this final bit of clearing will be pop to the shop, get some weed killer. We have got quite a bit of kind of mulched up, chopped up grass to get rid of. To be honest, looking at the quality of it, I don't think that's going to be any good to give to the goats, which is fine. My initial plan was this field just here, which has got some really nice long decent looking grass in it. I was just going to chop a little bit of this really, just so we had some food, fill up the trough, and then of course head over to Mr. Travaskis and get those 2 goats which we inherited. So I'm quite keen to get them as soon as possible. It is a real shame though that we don't have the tractor. My granddad would be absolutely gutted if he knew that had gone. And Mr. Travaskis, he said he wouldn't have sold it, so you can only assume that someone has stole it, which is a real shame. Anyway, let's not dwell. Let's get on with this. Good, I'm happy. So we're just going to dump this into here, because we don't need that now for a minute or two. And pop to the shop. We're probably going to need this, and we're probably going to need that old shovel just to clear some of this grass, but that doesn't look very good, to be honest. That looks like that's going to break as soon as it picks up any weight, but we'll see how we get on. Not a problem. We need to look at taking out this shrubbery as well. Definitely. Now I'll just show you something I spotted. So around here, and I think it is behind this area. So when I was clearing up down here, I noticed, and I never noticed it before, but there is a shed there. Looks like a pretty old shed, old wooden shed. But there is a shed there. Now, it's not really safe. The ground's all boggy here. I can't really get in there, but it looks like, I mean, it's facing the other way, so it's certainly something that I'm assuming they must have used. I mean, I don't remember it from my childhood, but it's something that we need to look at. So I did have a go at this area here with that strimmer, but it just wasn't quite man enough to take out these bushes. So we're going to have to think of something else really to try and get through here. But that shed's quite far back in the distance. In fact, you can't even see it from here. So there must be quite a big opening in this area, so I'm not quite sure what to do. I'll have a think on the way to the shop, I think. I'm sure we can do something. I'm quite intrigued. I quite like all these little areas that we're finding as we're going along, so I do want to have a look at that. Okay, back from the shop. So picked up a decent looking little sprayer. So we just go around the area there, try and spray the grass and the weeds and things that we've just kind of mulched up with that strimmer. That would be good. And then I bought another jerry can. I've got an idea, and I think that's going to help us clear that area out pretty quickly. Maybe not the most safest way in the world, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it, so no problem. Anyway, let's get on with this spraying. Okay, good. Quite a bit of spraying we got done there. So hopefully that'll sort it out. We'll get around to getting rid of this at some point. Hopefully it's not going to rain. Last night before we went to bed there was a lot of thunder, but it's funny. It's still a really, really nice day today. So not quite sure what that's all about, but to be honest, if it rains it'll probably just wash it all away anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Right, bit of a shuffle around in our shed there, just so we can fit that in. Pop that there. Close that gate up. I don't think we're going to be needing that for a minute or two now. Okay, here is my plan. So it's getting on in the afternoon now. Potentially clouds are starting to go grey, so we might get that rain after all, so I need to get on with this. I'm going to empty this here. Now it's a bit risky. Hopefully I don't get in any trouble, but I can control it, I think. I'm sure I can control it. Just to see if we can clear down some of these big bushes that strimmer wouldn't take. And try and maybe clear a path towards that shed, which must be over there somewhere. It must be. I really can't see it, but it's got to be there. So let's do it. Let's just empty out this jerry can filled with petrol all around this area, and maybe give it a little helping hand. And the rain will probably finish the job off and wash it all off and cool it off at the end of it anyway. So I want to get on with it. This needs to burn, I think, for a couple of hours. So as long as we've timed it right, the rain should help us control it. So let's get pouring. Okay, wow, we've just lost a little bit more light, but still not started raining yet. But yeah, so far so good. Hey, I'll tell you one thing, this is the warmest I've been for a long time. So it's quite nice. I might just sit here quite close for a minute. So it's almost dark. Sky seems to have cleared up. It's kind of dying off now anyway, naturally. But it seems to be doing a good job anyway. They're certainly, the height is much lower than what it was before. Problem is now, I can't really get in behind there while it's like that, so I was hoping it was going to rain, but we'll give it another half an hour. It looks like it's dying down, so I'm not too concerned about leaving it just die off overnight, to be honest with you. Well, it started raining. It started raining. So it's kind of cooled it all down now. So just before we head to bed, it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock now, to be honest. So we do need to head to bed. But let's just have a quick look here. Make sure we don't stand on any of these bits of ash though. I don't really want to burn myself. To be honest, this doesn't look like it's gone far enough back. Oh, there's the shed. There is the shed. Right, let's see if we can get into there somehow. Let's climb in underneath this bush. Doesn't look like a bad quality shed actually. It's not too bad at all. Right, stand up. Oh, hang on a minute.